Dear DA, I'd love to learn more about how to automatically filter a data extension. I have an email program that I need to only pull data relevant from the past 24 hours, but do it every day. Can you help?
All right, so what are we learning today? We're going to cover off on the differences between a filtered data extension and a filter activity. They essentially do the same thing, but one is a manual process and one is more automated. Then we're going to go into Salesforce and we're actually going to show you how do you build out that filter data extension, which is the manual process, and then how do you build out the automated process, which is a filter activity. But first, let's talk about what the difference is. So you have filtered data extensions. This is a sample of a larger data set that you're testing or you're wanting to verify certain data actually exists in the larger data set. As I said, this is totally manual. Next up, you'll have the automated process. This is where you have an ongoing data segmentation strategy where every day you're importing new data and looking to refresh it. In Salesforce, we're on the Subscribers tab within Email Studio. We've already uploaded our data into our data extension, and we're going to click on the filter icon in the top right-hand corner. We're going to pull over the attribute local, and you have several options to filter off of, but all of the values within this field are going to be equal to Y. We're going to save and build this out. We're going to give it a name. What do we want that subset to be called? So we want this to align with what we're segmenting off of, so local to our office. And you can see here, once I've created this filtered data extension, it gives me the source. It tells me what I have filtered it off of. I can also see the foldering, where it is at the top, and looky there, we have 40 people out of all the employees in our office who are local to Atlanta. So how do we automate a filter process? We're still under the Subscribers tab. You'll see our source data extension there, as well as our filtered data extension that we've already created. But now we need to create a data filter to automate the process. So we're going to go create a data filter. We're going to choose it to be based off of a data extension, and we're going to identify what that source data extension is here. You go find it within that same foldering process, and voila. You'll notice here that there's only one option to choose from. That's because you can't filter on a filter. This is very similarly set up. Today, now we're going to filter off of in office today. We're going to use the value Y again, and just as with the other filter data extension, you have the same options. Hit save, and we're going to name our data filter representing what it is we're filtering on. And there you have it. You have the data filter set up. However, this still doesn't automate the process. So we need to now go into Automation Studio, hover over the email cloud. You're going to find Journey Builder and Automation Studio. And we need to create a new automation. We're going to schedule this because ideally you're importing a larger data set that you then want to filter off of to have a more defined segmented data set. We're going to create this filter activity. So we've already created the data filter, but now we need to create the activity that actually runs that data filter. So select New Filter Activity. We're going to name it exactly what we named our data filter, so everything lines up and it's really easy to identify what it is that we're running. You can add a description, you can add or change the folder location. We're going to just type out what it is we want it to describe it as. And here, again, the foldering is exactly the same. So we are going to select the data filter we just set up. I'm a big stickler for naming conventions, so I like to keep everything consistent across the board. So we're going to fill out each one of these with the same thing that we labeled our data filter. Next, you have a summary page that allows you to review all the work that you've set up. Hit finish. We have to save our automation in order to run it, and with that you got to name it. So same exact name, same trend. And now we can run our automation with that filter activity. We're going to select the run once option. You'll see that it will list all the activities you want to run. And there you have it. Our automation is now running. And so while that is running, we're going to go back into our data extensions under subscribers. And if you click on the original source folder, you'll see there you go. Your new filtered automated data extension exists in that source folder. It's always going to go to the folder where your source data extension exists. You'll see that you can again identify what your source data extension is and what you filtered off of, and there you have it, all the records that have a value of Y for in-office today. In summary, use your manual data filters when you're trying to define a smaller sample size within your larger data set. You can't filter on a filter, and setting up an automated process requires creating both a data filter and a filter activity. Thanks for joining. Give us a like, and for more quick tips, subscribe to our channel below.